Magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. Good evening, wherever you are in the world. I hope you are doing well today. Welcome to Coach MirandaMiner Crypto News Fundamentals Technical Charting Trader Quotient in 45 minutes. Magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. If you are in United Arab Emirates, magandang hapon sa'yo. And good morning to you if you're actually in the United States today. Good morning, good morning. Ang aking mga moderators today in the chat room. Hello, Galamax, thank you. Charles, thank you for joining. Hello, guys. No, sa ating mga newbies, welcome to my channel and I hope you learned something today. We have actually a lot of in store for you today. Medyo very technical ang topic natin today. We're gonna be talking about contrarian view. No, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar, but there is what you call a contrarian view, no, on the potential Bitcoin death cross. So more to come on that. Just listen to the music. Will officially start at 10 o'clock p.m. All right. By the way, welcome sa ating mga listeners dyan sa United Arab Emirates. No, magandang hapon dyan, guys. We have a very special show for you this coming Friday. We'll call it a Crypto Night Live Arabian Nights. Arabian Nights. It's going to be an Arabian Nights, and we will have a very special guest. Of course, sila ay taga United Arab Emirates as well. Right? We are going to welcome Jen, Nico, and Joms ang ating balikbayan na taga UAE before. No, we have three very special guests. We're going to discuss something about ano kaya ang buhay, no? Ano kaya ang buhay dyan sa United Arab Emirates. I know it's a familiar coffee place or coffee area itong pinapakita kong picture today, no? So if you're from the UAE, I'm sure you're probably familiar of this place. Now we're gonna be talking about a special night, no, with about our OFWs there in UAE. And if you are from UAE, please alam ko Friday is the day of rest sa inyo, day of prayer. So attend kayo dito sa ating 10 o'clock Friday Crypto Night Live. It's going to be on June 18, 5 p.m. UAE time. It's actually 10 p.m. our time here in Manila, and I look forward seeing all of you guys there. And we're going to be discussing mga kwentuhan tayo about kamusta naman dyan ng trading. And this is actually a very special show kasi meron tayong special class. No? Meron tayong special class that's going to start on June 25 and July 2. Dalawang Friday yan. It's going to be um, 2 Fridays no ng June 25 and July 31, July 2. We're going to hold a very special class for our UAE students. So I'm sure marami na naka-enroll. Some of you, and thank you, Joms, moderator Joms, Nico, and Jen for really helping us organize the team for the special class. No? And of course, mawawala ba ang ating Saturday class? No, meron tayong Saturday Crypto Night Live. No, this is gonna be the time where Coach MirandaMiner is going to interview ang isang alumni natin. One of our alumni in Crypto University. I am very, very proud, super proud of this alumni. In fact, we will call him Mr. Sabi niya, Mr. Fib na lang daw, no? We will call him Mr. Fibonacci. Mr. Fib, we will interview him on Saturday. Let's listen to him, no? Where he has actually 100% win rate using our system. 100% win rate. And I am very proud of this student kasi before pa mag-start yung crypto MirandaMiner University, Elite University, itong batang to, ang dami ng questions. No? He wants to validate, he wants to ask confirmation. And nung natuto na, ang galing na, baka palitan pa si Coach Miranda Miner. So congratulations to and I look forward hearing you guys. Panoorin nyo to, no? Panoorin nyo magandang usapan ito and I look forward talking to you on Saturday on June 19 after no Saturday night live natin yan. All right? And then kakalabas lang ng ating video, please panoorin din nyo to. Sa mga nag-aaral diyan, yung mga tapos na ng scalping, no? Ito naman yung day trading ni coach, no? How do you use your parabolic Miranda buy high, sell higher strategy using your RSIs, no? Using your RSIs. So it's important you also learn this. This is not a scalp. In fact, this is actually a 2-hour play, no? It's a 2-hour play wherein ito yung time na bumulusok si BTC pataas. And some of you na hindi marunong gumamit ng RSI, naipit sa taas yan. Nakabili kayo siguro sa pinakatuktok at naiwan kayo dyan, no? This was the time, pakita ko lang, no? This was the time when BTC have reached the 40,000 level coming from the 36,000. Biglang bumulusok yan pataas in a span of 4 hours or 5 hours. No, yung mga naipit hindi marunong gumamit ng buy high sell higher strategy. So, panoorin niyo yung video na yan. It's a good video wherein you could see paano yung execution ni Coach Miranda Miner. All right? Okay? All right, let's go now with our topic for today. Magandang hapon sa inyo. Meron tayong taga Japan, no? Very good. Hey, welcome to you if you're from Japan. Hello, hello, hello. All right, let's do this, no? Our topic for today is about contrarian view. Contrarian view of Bitcoin. Why is there a contrarian view? Are you guys familiar of what contrarian view is? If yes, please type number 1 in the comment section. Are you familiar of what a contrarian view is? No? Type number 1. Contrarian view is basically you are actually trying to play a contradicting mindset on a potentially known trend. No, if you are my student, you probably have heard about trend following, no, and who is Ed Seikota. And obviously, if you are a trend follower, you're still trying to make sure that you ride on that particular wave. All right. And in this case, there is what you call a contrarian view. There's a contrarian view that is basically trying to understand, teka lang, there is potentially a different route. This can potentially be a time to invest versus a time to divest. All right. Why did I say so? No. What is a contrarian? What is the contrarian view? What is a Bitcoin death cross? Let's do this. No. If you open Bitcoin today, let's open a Binance chart. No, it's actually a Binance chart, and let's just open BTC. Let's open perpetual for that matter. No, let's open that. No, and then when you open perpetual, you will of course go to your 1 day. Go to your 1 day, and of course you need to use your 2 types of moving average. You will use, since we are actually on a day mode, we were going to use an EMA 200 and an EMA 50. I'm not going to use MA, and my students know that. What is the difference of an EMA and an MA? All right. Now, um, if you are my student, you probably know, or if you are actually looking at my videos, yung mga free videos natin, you're probably going to wonder what is a moving average? What is a death cross? No, basically the relationship of a fast moving average and a slower moving average. In this case, you have your younger EMA, you have your 50 days EMA, and then you have your EMA 200. No, EMA 200 is basically a moving average of your past 200 days. EMA 50 is the moving average for the past 50 days. And by theory, they say that if your EMA 50, in this case, this is the blue line. Let's try to make it more apparent. No? Let's try to make it more apparent by making it a color red. Color red, color red, and let's make it more dark. Okay, and then you have your what you call Emma 200, which is we will try to color this as the favorite color of my daughter, which I don't even know where to plot here. We call it indigo. No, it's calling indigo, and let's try to plot that. All right. By theory, they say that if your Emma 50, in this case the red one, crosses pababa, crossing below your Emma 200, that can signal a death cross. And a death cross means it can further go down. No? It can further go down. No? However, it's interesting. It's interesting that yes, it's actually about to go down. However, the candle is still going higher. It's trying to go higher. So there are contrarian views that if you look in adding the volume, let's try to add the volume. If you try to look and adding the volume, it looks like this potential cross is already done. It's already done. Let me show to you some sample case studies. Okay? Let me show to you some sample case studies. If you look into this particular relationship of Bitcoin wherein you also saw a death cross, no? This particular death cross here did not bring down the coin price anymore. This is an MA50 crossing down an MA200. And this particular death cross did not push down the price. In fact, the price even went higher. And the reason being is that the bottom already happened before the cross even happened. Okay? So this looks somehow familiar. Take a look at this. The bottom already happened here in this area. No? Before there's even a death cross. Right? And you are seeing a lot of green buying candles. In fact, if we change this to 150, which is also another way to look at the potential death cross, nag-cross na sila. They already crossed. However, during the time that it crossed, okay, during the time that it crossed, a lot of positive news came in already. A lot of positive news. So did the positive news happened? Did they do the crypto Miami conference right on June 4th and 5th because it's about to do a death cross? Right? Did they do a lot of updates in the system? All of it sabay-sabay because it's about to do a death cross? That is the contrarian view. Pwedeng it already had bottomed. That's the reason why it is not going to be a driver of a bear market anymore. So this happened on March 26, 2020. No? March 26, 2020. Right? So if it already had its former bottom, it can potentially be a time to even more invest. Let's look for another view. Let's look for another view. Take a look at this. In this particular case, you have your Litecoin, and Litecoin had a death cross on September 2020. But you gotta remember, during this time, Litecoin was extremely bullish. It's above the 50 moving average. It never had a bottom first. When it actually started to do a death cross, it plummeted down just because it never experienced a death cross yet. So, going back to my perspective, if your Bitcoin already had bottomed and it's about only to do a death cross, there is a potential that it will not go down anymore. Let me tell you one more thing. No? Yesterday, there was a major news about this. No? It was in Financial Times. Sabi dito, hedge funds expect to hold 7% of assets in crypto within 5 years. Right? What are we seeing? Large banks, no? Like yung mga large banks today, what are they doing? No? All of them are still on contrarian view against crypto, but right now this is a major move. About 312 billion in digital currency across the industry, right? Around 312 billion. And currently we're currently at a 1.7 trillion, 1 point let me try to read it again. We're currently at 1.62 trillion, market circulation today. And adding 300 bill is going to represent around one-sixth of the current market size today, only coming from institutional investors. This is really big. No? They're planning to increase their exposure to cryptocurrencies on the next 5 years. A survey of 100 hedge fund chief financial officers globally. These are the decision makers. Right? These are the decision makers who are now saying that based on that survey, they're going to hold an average of 7.2 of their entire assets in 5 years' time. What a very good coincidence that this will go out. This is going to be out. No? And another article says the same thing. Another article says the same thing. No? Here's how Bitcoin impending death cross could be a contrarian buy signal. Right? So I mean, at the end of the day, and I just wanted to give some time on this because I think if I'm not mistaken, I remember there is there was a question about coach. Have you seen the death? Yes, I've seen the death cross potential. Right, and there's a different point of view. Don't get me wrong. I'm not just giving you the contrarian point of view. Right, what I'm actually trying to do is to offer you an insight of what cannot happen because there are other folks, no, don't get me wrong, no, there's another folk, no, who's also writing about the potential danger ahead of the Fed meeting, no. Sabi naman ng news na to, Bitcoin actually wobbled around $40,000 as investors waited for the Fed Reserve to release its new set of economic projections on Wednesday. Today, the market focus shifted on two important questions. Will the United States Central Bank officials sign their intentions to raise interests, right? Or how much inflation they think would rise in the remainder of 2021? Right? That's another way to look at it, another lens, no? Another lens, right? And for me, in a very layman term, from a macroeconomic view, obviously, whenever every time that a Fed will release money, it will drive inflation. Every time that money will be released, right? Whenever you're printing money, it deflates the value of your money. There's what you call a term called pump priming. No, so people who, and I posted this in my Facebook because of the most recent issue about Lebanon, who was impacted by the deflation of their money. What do you do for you to protect yourself on the deflation? What do you do? Because inflation happened to the prices, no? At an average 2% per year, maliit na 'yon. Well, it's small already. So what would happen? What would happen? And look at this, oh. The April consumer price index data showed inflation rose to 4.2%. No, it's an average 2% to 6%. So because the price of the goods are increasing, what happens to the price of your money? It deflates. If you have a million peso in the bank 10 years ago, right? It's already, you should already less 10% of that from its value today. Have you ever wondered why the price of 1,000 peso was really, really big when you were going to the grocery store 30 years ago than today? That's because of inflation. And for you to protect your money, what do? You obviously put them on a hedge fund or you put them on a time deposit. Unfortunately, time deposit only earns like less than 1%, right? So people try to hide that to avoid the inflation impact. And for me, in my opinion, is obviously there's going to be a lot of macroeconomics impacting the price of the coin. But for me, a lot of retailers will use the power of the coin to hide, right? To hide the money against the impact of inflation. Because if Bitcoin can grow 100% in 3 months, right? If the forecast is that it could grow your money in terms of value in 3 months, then I would rather put my money there, my savings there, right? So there are two types. There are two types of news, or there are two types of lens. No, it's either people are looking at, okay, we're in a watch and play scenario because there's gonna be a Fed meeting. It's gonna be today. It's actually 10 o'clock in the morning U.S. time. We'll see by the end of the day. We'll see what's gonna be the impact. No, and at the end of the day, there's also some people, as I've said, there's also some people who are actually looking at a different lens on the cryptocurrency coin because at the end of the day, they're thinking that it has already bottomed. It has already bottomed. No, it has already bottomed, and there's no based on history, if it already bottomed at this area, even if it already does its death cross, it will not necessarily significantly impact the coin, right? So unless otherwise, maybe I don't know, maybe the US would say, okay, you know what, we'll probably ban crypto, then this will go nosedive. Nosedive meaning it will go down. This should take a very, 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 very large negative catalyst for this coin to be influenced by the death cross. All right, that is my point of view. Again, at the end of the day, that's why you see a ticker down there on the live. No, it's up to you. That's my perception, right? No, and then let's go zoom in. Let's go zoom in. No, and this is actually one of the things I've actually shared in Discord earlier. If you saw this reminder, please type ng number one. If you saw my reminder in Discord earlier, please type number one. I said, do not enter, do not play this coin yet. Do not. Why did I do that? Why did Coach MirandaMiner say that? What did I say yesterday in my live? Right? What did I say yesterday? In my live yesterday, I said this coin might go down a little bit, a little bit. Now this could go down, right? Why? Because you see a left hand. You see a left hand, right? A left hand, for my students, they know this. It's an impending bearish divergence. It could reverse the trend. This can reverse the trend. And true enough, the market feels that the price should still go higher, but RSI feels otherwise. It's actually forming a higher low formation, and the candle is forming a higher high candle. So it's a left formation, ergo it might go down. But let me tell you something. This is again the power of Fibonacci. Let me tell you something. I'm just really amazed. I am just amazed. This is what I said in my Facebook earlier. I said, hang on. Let's see if it will bounce. Let's see if the 0.618 will bounce. And true enough, when we did our Fibonacci extension, by the way, this is an extension. How did we do this? Coach, why did you do that? No? Because we had the Fibonacci here before. You have a Fibonacci here before, and we were thinking, where will this bounce? Remember that question? We were thinking, where will this bounce? And apparently, it bounced on the 0.5, no? It bounced on the 0.5. So let us try to map that out. Fibonacci retracement, boom. It bounced on the zero point 0.5 here. It bounced here, no? Right? It bounced there. So this is going to be where we will do our extension. So let's try to do that. Let's try to do your extension. There you go. One higher than number, sorry, higher extension. One, two, three, right? Three. Now, from this, we will lock this. Okay. Let's go to this going upwards. No? Let's do this now. For some reason, nauuntog yan sa 0.786. Kahapon pa yun. This has been like correcting since yesterday. And I said, hang on, it's forming a bearish divergence within the major fib support 0.618 extension. Right? And true enough, when it tried to penetrate pababa, it did not win. It never won. If you look at the 4 hour candle, in fact, the candle is actually a doji. It's a doji. So the 0.618 is strong enough to handle. However, if you are a trader, I don't want you to trade right now. I would want you to wait for a confirmation. Because Fibonacci alone will not give you a confirmation or a confluence. It is just one. And what did I teach you? I teach you that it should break out on the third candle after the prison break. After the prison break. Right? So, did this go out yet? Not yet. That's why kung ikaw, atat ka kanina, pumasok ka sa bull candle na to, ipit ka for sure. Pustahan tayo. Pero bang pumasok dito, nataranta kanina, pumasok sa bull na yan, akala niya bounce na? Meron siguro. Correct? Magkaamin na tayo. Sinong nag-bull kanina? Akala niya bounce na. Diba? Right? I mean, that's the power of that, eh, no? So when we zoom out, we were talking about a bearish crossover, a death cross. But when we zoom in on a lower time frame, it's actually forming also a bearish. However, it nasaluyan ng 0.618. Right? 0.618. Now, as I've said, no, the 0.618 below is a sell short territory. A sell short territory. But you need to be mindful that, remember, this becomes a bounce area. No? This is a bounce area of a 0.618 extension. You gotta remember, this was the old resistance of this correction. Diba? Ayun, maraming guilty, nagta-type ng one. No? Na-fake out. Na-fake out ng bull na yon. Na-fake out ng bull run na to. Wag pasok ng pasok, guys. Diba? Mag-wait ka ng bounce. That's what I keep on saying. You trade the bounce. You trade the bounce. And by the way, you are trading BTC. You're not trading an altcoin. In this video, itong ginawa kong video na to, this one. In this video, itong bounce na to, this was an ADA bounce. This was an ADA bounce. And I traded andito pa lang siya sa part na to. It's not yet bouncing. Why was I very, 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 very confident? Why? Because Bitcoin had a breakout. When Bitcoin had a breakout and ADA is about to bounce, pasok na. Bitcoin breakout already. And Bitcoin will influence. Right? And there is a major fib line here at below 0.618. And you have a confluence, Bitcoin is agreeing with you, and you have an Halmachi on the breakout. Of course, that's a perfect recipe for success. Right? And that's why I earned. I earned 2 times, almost 2 times, yes. 2 out of 2. Playing the bounce, no? Playing the bounce and after buying high and sell higher. Right? And if you are charting Bitcoin, if you're charting Bitcoin, if this one is an altcoin, right? And Bitcoin is already on a breakout, then just trade this already. Trade this na. this will go higher, right? So, I was actually sending screenshots of this. I said ito yung formation kanina. Oh. Yan, no? This was the formation on a 3-minute candle. I gotta tell you, I've shared this to my class earlier, no? This is a very, very good potential scalp. Why? This is an ALMA 28.8, di ba? This is an EMA 9. And there's a CCI breakout. Why did I not trade that? Because the candles are trading on a major fib support, right? I said you need to trade the bounce. So if this is a bounce and you see a Halmachi formation, for those that attended my class, you know what a feast anatomy is, no? Galing sa ilalim tumaas, breaking out a resistance or a consolidation after after right a pullback. This is still consolidating. You need to wait for a breakout. Pag alis ulit pataas. Pag nag-form dyan ng Halmachi, pag alis dyan sa formation na yan, that's a winning trade. That's a winning trade. Kaya siguro marami sa inyo, pasok ng pasok sa trade, naipit. Diba? Another one. This one, I was actually calling this out earlier, no? Nung paghalik pa lang niya, when this is actually trying to test this support, no? I said, hang on, don't trade this. Don't enter. People in Discord, you guys know that. No? And no, this is the first time, right? So again, please maximize the use of your fibs. Maximize the use of your fibs and make sure that you don't enter. And when I was actually trading earlier, we're able to earn or in our trading earlier, we just traded the bounce. I posted it in Facebook. I just did that because I wanted to teach the bounce, and I was in a class earlier. I taught that bounce. No, like some of you in Wave One, I did trade during the class, and I wanted to make sure you guys see the breakouts, right? So at least you guys could see the proof of concept. No, so guys, I hope I was very clear. No, again, we started with what you call a potential contrarian view. Again, I may be wrong. I may be wrong. It depends on what's going to be the discussion later on during the Fed. No? But I gotta tell you, based on history, this probably could have bottomed already. And by the way, this is actually a very strong support now. You have actually one, you have two major bounce areas. No, unless otherwise it's a major negative catalyst, and this could further plummet. It could get nosedive. That's still a possibility, right? But given the news today, like look at this one. Bitwise secures 70 million funding. Kyber expands to Polygon. 30 million funding. Right? There's just a lot eh. There's a lot, no? So we'll see, guys. We'll see. For me, if you're what's this? If you're a short-term trader, you guys follow what I'm saying. You guys gotta be careful on trading this particular trend. No, it's actually a bearish divergence. It's a left hand, kaliwa. No, and please don't enter this yet. Wait for a bounce. Wait for a prison breakout of this. Look at this is a dodgy. This is indecisive. I don't want you to be a dodgy, right? It's trying to break out now. It's trying to break out. We'll see. Okay, guys, I hope you learned something today. I hope you learned. Did you learn something today? Did you learn something today? Please type 1 if you learned something today. Ang dami daw guilty kanina, oh. Ito ba yung mga nag-trade nung uh, uh, bull trap? Ito ba yung na-trade na yon? right? Guys, did you learn something today? I hope you learned something today, no? No? And how to be very careful on your trades because I want you to have a very high profitable winning rate, winning rate. And in simple terms, very very simple charting, you could already see where can you potentially enter. No, I have no very colorful charts. I only have very simple charts. No? Right? So at the end of the day, ayan, na-trap, marami daw na-trap. Hindi kayo nakinig sa Discord eh. I chat, di ba? Dialamax, I said there, wag mo nang papasok. Wait for that bounce. No? Wait for that. Wait for confirmation. Don't, again, wait for that confirmation. Then put a MACD. What did MACD say? What did MACD say? Did MACD say to enter, guys, based on this? Did MACD say to enter? Sige nga, students. What did MACD say? Binangon ko si Galamax sa tatlong pending order ko daw. Sobra ka naman, Galamax. Sobra ka naman. Di ba? So may mga may clue, no? Did MACD say you order? No. Absolutely not. Right? Why? Because it's still not a breakout. And MACD says it's downwards. It's downwards. Right? It's going downwards. Right? By the way, my three orders is already executed. Just one of them executed na. Dalawa na lang yun. I took a profit there. No? I cannot execute kasi naka-long order ako doon. No? I need to do a reduce only order. Anyways, guys, your MACD doesn't agree with you. So why will you execute an order here? Hello? Di ba?